Oh hey! As you can tell, I have no makeup on, and I'm thinking we'll do another one of my get ready with me videos. I did one before. I think I was talking about like self-doubt or something like that, but I kind of want to start incorporating these types of videos into my channel because I personally like watching get ready with me chatty videos. I find them really therapeutic. I like doing my makeup alongside them. Just in general, I like putting on my makeup. I feel like it's a nice way of starting my morning really slow, not having to talk, although I guess I'm going to be talking in this video. I did like a poll on my Instagram yesterday. Shameless plug, if you don't follow me, you can follow me at SemCity_. I'll put my thing right here. But a lot of people responded saying that they like to see get ready with me's and just chit-chatting videos. So why not test it out? Let's just do it. I might try it a few times, but I'm gonna be honest, I do the same makeup every single time. So you're just gonna see the same thing over and over again. Let's get started, okay? Should I tie my hair back? The largest truck is going by? Ah, that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with primer because that's what people do apparently. I'm gonna put some of this like glowy primer on because my body is more tan than my face. Anyways, today I think I want to talk about jumping from a transition job or like a part-time job to I guess like a full-time office corporate job, and just kind of the things that, you know, like I felt and I experienced from going through that process. And I guess what I'm trying to say in terms of a transition job is like the job that you kind of do before you're kicking off your career, if that makes sense. Like I think transition jobs are super important, but at the same time they're not what you want to be doing for the rest of your life. So for me, I was working at a retail job, but my goal was to get to head office. So as some of you know, I work at Lululemon for the head office and social media. But before that, I was working Lululemon in the stores. And I've just recently hit my 1-year mark in this role. And this was kind of like my first corporate role, I guess. Like I have never really worked for a large company at the head office. I've always worked like part-time jobs, what I like to call transition jobs, internships, you know what I mean? So it was a really big jump, and I feel like I haven't had a jump like that since high school to university. So I guess it's been like 4 years plus 1 more year of me working in the store since I've had such a big transition and a big jump to something so new. So I'm not gonna lie, it was terrifying. Like I wanted it so bad, and I'll be honest, like I cried when I got the job because I wanted it so bad. But to say that it was like an easy transition, I would never lie to you like that. Also, quick segue, I've been trying out this whole soap brow trend recently, and I actually really like it. Like, can we just talk about how like fluffy and full my eyebrows look? And like, don't get me wrong, I have my eyebrows microbladed, so they're not just this full because of the soap, but my hairs stick down and they just like do a bunch of weird things, and the soap really gets them stuck in place, I'll tell you that much. So anyways, I guess because I've hit my year mark, I'm kind of reflecting on how far I've come and kind of where I started at head office. And also a lot has changed, I mean, with COVID and work from home, so I just kind of want to chat through that in case anyone is experiencing it. I know back to school is happening right now, so it kind of reminded me that, like, you know, some people aren't going back to school and they're looking for a career, and it's going to be a big jump. So I figured I would just share my experience. I also kind of forgot how hard it is to talk and do your makeup at the same time, but you know, I'm always here to try new challenges. So when I first jumped from store to my corporate head office job, things were really fast paced. Obviously I had to go through really quick training, get really comfortable in the role so that I could execute, because I really needed someone to jump in and just like get started with the role. So I kind of just got thrown in, and that was really fun and really cool and a great learning experience. But I almost feel like the period after that is when things started to be a little bit more challenging for me. Things started slowing down. I was spending a lot more time in office. I was going to a lot more meetings, and I guess like the biggest thing that was super intimidating for me is just the sheer number of people that you're interacting with, but not that often. So the biggest difference for me was from stores, I was working with the same group of people every single day. We were such a close-knit family. Like we hung out outside of work, we were all buddies, and you have a lot of people who are doing the exact same job as you and who can relate to you and who you can talk things through with and everything like that. Whereas when I got to head office, this and I got into my role, I wasn't interacting face to face with a lot of people who had my exact role. I'm the only person in Vancouver who has my role. It does get a little isolating, but not so much in the fact that I'm lonely. It's just that there's not a lot of people that you have that direct connection to because you share the exact same role. So that was a big transition, but at the same time, you're meeting a lot of different people in a different way. So you're seeing a lot of people in a lot of different roles. You're working cross-functionally with them. You're in meetings with so many different teams, so many different people every single day. And I think the biggest thing for me was like, I felt like a fish out of water. I was like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing here. What am I supposed to be saying? I don't know what meeting etiquette is like. I don't know what types of things I should be bringing to these meetings, what I should be saying. And basically I just felt like a total noob. Like I would show up to meetings and just bite my tongue and be like, I have nothing to add here because I have no idea what anyone is talking about. And I don't know if this is just a me thing. I don't think it is, but I hate being the person in the room who knows the least. And that's exactly how I felt when I first started my role, which is normal. Okay, so if you feel like that, totally normal. You have to start somewhere. I know I compared this jump, like the jump from university or high school to university, but it's also not the same because again, when you jump from high school to university, you are experiencing it with like hundreds of other people who are going through the same thing. Whereas when you jump from a transition job to a corporate job, you know, there might be a few other people, but if they're not in the same role as you, or they started a little before you or a little after you, you're on completely different wavelengths than you would be with something like schools. So I compared it to that. It's similar, but it's not the same. But trust me, it's not the same. Okay, another quick side note. I've been using this stuff. It's called Pimel or Pimel. Unsure, but it looks like this. Anyways, it's made in Japan. It's an Asian brand, but it literally like glues your eyelashes up. I have pin straight eyelashes. In fact, they go down, I'm pretty sure, and every mascara makes them droop. So this is a mascara base. Chef's kiss. Anyway, so I'm sitting in these meetings not knowing what to say, literally sitting on my tongue, and it kind of became like this vicious cycle of not knowing what to say, and so I never said anything ever. And then I just never broke out of that cycle. And you know when they say like if you have something to say, you'll feel it in the pit of your throat because you know that you want to say something? I feel like I felt that, but I misinterpreted it as like nerves, like a no, I don't want to say anything. Please don't call my name. Please don't pick on me. And don't get me wrong, I'm a pretty shy person, especially in like a group setting or like a bunch of new people. I have extreme stage fright, which I won't lie is not a good thing to have in a corporate setting, but it never holds me back. I can always overcome it. It's just something that I don't like doing. Okay, listen, I'm about to do eyeliner. I can't talk during this. Also, I like to curl my lashes and put that primer base on first before eyeliner because when I curl my eyelashes, I feel like it ruins my eyeliner that I just put down. So that's why I do that backward step. What was I talking about? It's a mix of the fish out of water, not wanting to say anything wrong, being the newest person, the most out of the loop person in the room, my shyness and stage fright, all working in conjunction along with imposter syndrome 100%. If you don't know what imposter syndrome is, Google it, read up on it, but it's pretty much just the feeling that you are an imposter, like you aren't actually an expert in your line of work. You somehow just tricked the system, got the job, and you're just kind of waiting for someone to find out that you're a fraud. Seems kind of extreme, but I think a lot of people feel this in some sort of capacity, thinking that like, oh, maybe I'm not cut out for this job, or like, what made me the most qualified candidate for this job? I don't have any experience. I don't have any this or any that. And the number one way to overcome it is honestly just getting into the work. You may not get everything perfect on the first try or ever for that matter, but I guarantee you it's your skill set that's going to get the best outcome time and time again. You weren't hired because you're going to be making the world's best decisions every single day, all the time, coming up with the best ideas, etc., but you were hired because you showed and exhibited skills that are required in the role and that are not easily sought after. So just trust that the person who hired you can't be that easily fooled, because unless you are the best actor in the world world, I highly doubt that that person hired you on a whim. It also just comes with time. Just remember that every single person at that office, even though they may be farther than you are at that given moment, they at some point were also where you are or where you will be or where I was a year ago. And we're all just kind of doing the same thing on different timelines. So just be patient with yourself. Don't feel like you need to be doing the most as soon as you get started, because it's just not feasible. Focus on what you can control, which is your work, and then move up from there. For me, it was really recognizing that like, hey, I don't speak up and I really should be speaking up so that people can hear my ideas, can get to know me as a person, can feel comfortable working with me and feel like I'm contributing. And it was that realization that like, hey, you need to step up. And every meeting that came after, I challenged myself to speak up at least once or every other meeting or whatnot, until it became this normal habitual action that I felt comfortable doing time and time again. And now fast forward, I still get nervous in bigger group settings, and it's still something that I'm working on a year later. But in terms of being a contributor to my team, to other teams, I feel very comfortable in the fact that I'm the expert of my role and I can offer very valuable feedback and valuable insight in my line of work. So it does come with time, and I'll tell you right now, my next role is going to challenge me just as much. So don't feel like you're ever going to get to a point where it's smooth sailing. It would totally suck if you got to a place where you're like, okay, challenge is over. Thank you all for coming. Okay, so I finished my eye makeup, which is pretty much the beast of the show. So let's move on to complexion. I've been using foundation as concealer recently. I find it to be a lot lighter in coverage, and I feel like it's a better match to my skin. It kind of melts in better, and it's a little less heavy. Some of my concealers are just like too freaking full coverage, and I know that's the point. Like, do you see? It just like completely blends into my skin. Imagine I say that and you're sitting over there like, girl, it does not blend at all. Okay, let's talk about work from home life, because half of the year that I've been in role has been work from home. First of all, I just want to say I'm really freaking lucky that my role can be work from home, because I honestly wouldn't feel comfortable going into office right now. And my heart goes out to anyone who does have to do that, because it honestly can't be easy. I have been working from home for 6 months now, which is crazy. It's crazy that I haven't seen my coworkers in person for 6 months. That seems really wild to me, but such is life right now, you know? I'm just going to cream contour. I've been really into the cream looks these days. And I won't lie, when we first started this whole like work from home process, I hated it. Like, absolutely hated it. I missed my desk setup. You know, like when you're working in an office, they set you up. I had a standing desk, a nice chair, which by the way is this chair. I stole it out of the office. My back and butt was hurting too much. I was like, I can't live like this. I must take my chair home. Oh God. And then I ended up getting this laptop stand and this external keyboard because, listen, I needed a better setup, knowing that this was going to be a longer term thing. Anyways, I hated it at first. My back hurt, my neck hurt. It's also just really hard for me to balance work-life balance. Like, I feel like I was answering emails at all hours of the day. I was making myself extremely available because I thought I had no excuse to not be available. I also do this thing where I think that, like, if I answer something now, it'll mean less stress later. But I'm starting to realize that that's not really how that works. Keep your work confined to a certain amount of time and deal with what comes later in that interval of time. You know what I'm saying? It's still something that I'm working on. And if you want me to make a video, I know somebody suggested that I should do a like work-life balance video, so I might do that. But to be honest, I'm not very good at work-life balance. But yeah, I didn't like working from home at first, and now I've actually really come to like it. I obviously do miss kind of like the back and forth banter with my coworkers, going to get lunch, and just like having people around me, and also like a dedicated space for work, because my room is my office now. I go to sleep here, I hang out here, I work here, I never leave my room, okay? But I will say I just have so much more time to do things. Hesitant to say that I have more time to do YouTube because I don't want y'all to come for me for not making videos more consistently. But it's actually wild how much time I was spending just getting to and from work, sitting in rush hour, waking up earlier, getting an outfit picked out, rinse and repeat. I feel like I have so much more time now to get an extra hour of sleep, work out when I have breaks in the middle of the day or immediately after work or right before work. avoid buying lunch as much, avoid spending money, avoid paying for gas. And it's just giving me a lot more time and reminding me to take things a lot slower. And I'm really actually enjoying it now that I've got my setup and I've kind of gotten used to the fact that I won't be going back to the office for a long time. So I hope you enjoyed this get ready with me chit-chatting video about work stuff, job stuff, work from home stuff. And let me know if you like these types of videos because I really enjoyed filming it and I could dabble with a few more. And also feel free to let me know what kinds of topics you want me to talk about during these videos or just in general. Until then, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.